We do a what's called a phone interview, and we'll ask many questions during that time. It kind of gives them an idea too of our schedule, when they have to wake up, when they have to leave, all that. So we do that process first, then we schedule a time for them to come in, whether it be during the day or at night. And they have paperwork to fill out. They have a guidelines video to watch. We also have it in booklet form for them to read. Basically at that point, they get to go up to our intake room where their stuff is processed. We like the fact that we have a clean facility, safe and secure facility, but we do have a longer intake process to keep the building that way, but we've never had a guest complain because they like the clean facility. Everybody is assigned a bed when they make the phone call initially to come in. Once they show up and do their intake and they're a new guest, once they do that, they have that bed for 30 days, as long as they keep the curfews and the rules. They have that bed for 30 days. Guests can stay here a maximum of 6 months, but they have to request every 30 days to stay longer. As far as single guests, now it doesn't mean that they're single. It just means that they're here on their own. Some of those single women do have children, but they're not bringing them to the shelter, and the child's maybe staying with a family member while they're here. Some of the single women are even married, and their husband might be staying at the men's shelter downtown for the time being. So just because we call them single women, it doesn't mean that they're necessarily single. But here, that's what we'd classify them as, because they are a woman by themselves. When they first will come in, we have 2 large dorm rooms. Each of those rooms have 20 beds. A family guest, it's very similar, but they don't have a large dorm room that they would be in. Instead, we have family rooms. There's 9 family rooms. Some of them have 6 beds, some of them have only 4. And sometimes if it's a large family, they might have their own room, but most rooms have at least 2 families in it that have to share that room. Occasionally we will have 3 families, so we won't go beyond that, but we can have as many as 15 moms here with 35 to 45 kids in those 9 rooms. So there really isn't a face to homelessness. I mean, we average between, and it depends on the time of year, but we average between 30 to 45, 50 children. We have a lot of working women right now. So I think people are expecting to see a different face, and not a face that they would see at church or at the store or at the doctor's office. They're not expecting that face, but that's who it is. You can't assume that guests are here because of poor choices, although those exist too. But some people are here truly because of hardship that just came upon them, and they themselves did not make the poor choices. So my personal philosophy is basically they're coming to us for a need. Now we know everybody needs Christ. They don't necessarily know that when they come in the door. And so my feeling is we do need to provide them with what they need, and not the bare minimum, and not, well, hey, you've got a bed. It might not be the cleanest bed, but you got a bed. No, we should provide them a good bed. We should provide them a safe facility, and we should provide them good food. If you're not providing for the basic needs, I don't know that you're going to get that many people coming to you and saying, hey, you know what, I think I can trust you. I think I can ask you this question, or I think maybe you would have some insight or advice that I would like to listen to because I've watched you.
When people come in, they sign in. If they're the first time here, we go through a process of intake that requires us to go over the rules while they're here and tell them what they can and can't do and what the provisions are and the procedures by which what follows in what order. Then they come here in the chapel at 7 o'clock. We have a chapel service here, and it's great to have the opportunity for the gospel to be presented each night. And our guests are very, very attentive. They really are interested to know more about the Bible and to know what God has for them. Then we line up to go through the line to get our food. And we have ladies and families and men here for the food. And ladies go first in the families. And as they go through the line, they're served the food that we have, which is always very nutritious. And they are generally quite appreciative of the food we provide for them. The women and children who come for the meal don't stay here. They're often maybe even a family that just doesn't have enough money for food, and they come for the meal only. And the other men then go upstairs to the dormitory area, or in the work dorm area down here. We have a place for those who are working who can't accommodate our regulated schedule, and we try to encourage people to get a job and to work. Everyone must take a shower. Everyone must stay in the bed assigned to them. They check in all their personal belongings that's locked up so that nobody can take anybody's anything. And that's a great benefit. People feel secure here for that because everything that's of value is locked up so nobody can get at it until the next morning. Now, at 9 o'clock we have lights out, and that means everybody is in their bed. And at 9 o'clock we have a night security staff that comes on, and we have night security all the way through until they're awakened at 6 o'clock in the morning. And at 6:30, after they make their beds and shave and whatever they do in the morning, then they come downstairs and have a continental breakfast at 6:30, and they're out by 7. Our guests come here with an obvious need. They are homeless. They've gotten into situations of life by bad choices, some not necessarily, but not having the knowledge or understanding to get out of their situation. And these people, sometimes it's become a way of life with them, in fact. But we try to help them with an understanding through the Word of God, and that's really the answer. The Word opens up our heart and our eyes of understanding, and even being able to counsel people regarding ordinary things that we would think you ought to know anyway. It's exciting to be able to minister in this way at the City Rescue Mission, to see lives really rescued, and it's a real blessing to be a part of this.